Okay guys, so this is the video how to make money while you sleep. You're making money while you're awake, usually 8 to 10 hours a day. Why not make money while you're asleep? So how do we make money while we're asleep? Well, first I'm going to show you our contract because that's where it all starts. It all starts on your agreement or your contract with your customer base. So if you don't have a contract, make sure you watch this video on how to make a contract from scratch, because you should be having some sort of contract with all your residential customers. And there's a lot of reasons why you want that. One of the reasons being is that it keeps them coming back. So you don't have to call them a year from now or 6 months from now and say, hey, do you want me to do your windows again? They're locked into an agreement so that whenever you make that call 6 months from now or a year from now, you say, I'm ready to schedule your appointment. But more importantly than that, really, in my opinion, is that the contract, if you do what I'm about to show you, the system that I'm about to show you, then you can actually make money while you're sleeping. I wake up every morning, the first thing I do is I check my bank account, cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. While I was asleep, I got deposits into my bank account. It's a great feeling. I'm going to show you how you can work 1 month, take 2 months off completely. You and your entire crew, if you have more than one, if you have employees, can take the next 2 months off, and you're still going to make money during those 2 months without doing anything. Of course, I know you're a hustler, you're not going to take 2 months off, but I'm going to show you that theoretically, under this system, you can actually do that because you're going to make money while you sleep. So, okay guys, so in order for you to understand what I'm about to explain on the whiteboard, I need to show you our contract first. So this is just an example of our contract. You can have your own contract. And again, if you don't know how to make a contract or you don't have one, watch the video that's going to pop up now. On our contract, we have our basic information, and then we have our services. This is for window cleaning. You can see we offer an annual service, a biannual service, a quarterly service, and a luxury plan. It's because of this luxury plan right here that we're able to make money while we sleep. So in order for you to understand how this works, I'm going to go back to the blackboard and kind of break it down to you. But I just wanted to show you a quick example of our contract and how it actually looks whenever our customers see it. So remember looking at our contract, and I'll throw it up here. We have the annual. This is our contract. These are the services that we offer, and we're talking about window cleaning. Now you can do this for window cleaning, pressure washing, roof washing, maybe not so much with lawn care because you have to cut the grass usually, once a week or something like that. But this system will hold true for most industries. So make sure you tell all your friends, your pressure washing friends, to come watch this and get some ideas. And if you can't figure out how to make it pertain to your particular industry or your particular business, shoot me a comment and I will try to walk you through how, yes, you can make it to your particular industry. Okay, so it all starts with the contract. Now we offer, from here on out, we're talking about window cleaning. We offer 4 different types of services. First is an annual service, and then a biannual, that's twice a year, and then a quarterly, 4 times a year, and then our luxury plan. Now sometimes we don't really need to offer this quarterly plan, but you're going to see the beauty of offering it whenever I show you about our luxury plan. So that's really the only reason why we keep it around. So we like to work for a minimum of $75 an hour whenever we're doing residential. We shoot for 100. We usually get about 150 to 200 an hour. In this example, I'm going to keep the numbers small and easy. Let's say that we're going to do this house. We show up to the customer's house, and we discern that it's going to take us 2 hours. So 2 hours, we want $100 an hour, then we want $200 for that. So we're going to put 2 hours up here. Okay? At a minimum, we want 150, but let's just say 200. So we've got an annual, biannual, quarterly, and a luxury plan. If our minimum is 200, then of course we don't really want them to go just once a year. So we're going to make that price a little bit higher. usually about $150 higher. Usually, sometimes even more than that. So we're going to start this annual out at $350. So what that means is we go to the customer's house and we say, okay, for once a year it's 350 bucks. Okay, that's probably going to be a little steep for them because again, it's only going to take 2 hours, but it's $175 an hour. If they say yes, great. We just made 175 bucks an hour. We move on. Okay, we call them back in a year. Hopefully we get to repeat. So the total for the year that we've made off of this one is $350. Okay, that's important to know. Now, we don't really want them to sign up for the annual. We want them to sign up for something on this side of the graph. And in particular, we really want them to sign up for the luxury plan, which is when we start making money while we sleep. So the biannual, we would normally knock that down about $25. Okay? So we tell the customer, hey, you can save 50 bucks if we go ahead and sign you up now, and then 6 months from now, we'll call you, we'll set the appointment, and we'll come out and do them twice. We'll come out and do them again. So if they sign up for this, now you're making, let me put the hourly rate here. So here you're making $175 an hour. Here you're making about $168 an hour. Okay? So if they sign up for the biannual, we're still above our $100 an hour goal. Okay? But even more so is that we're now making $650 a year off this one customer, which is almost double that. Okay? And that's what you need to start thinking. Now that they have a biannual contract, it's 6 months from now, it's not, hey, would you like your windows cleaned? No, it's, hey, just a reminder, according to your contract, your windows are due this month, it's June, when is a good time for me to come out? And the customer says, oh, well, Wednesday is good. And you say, great. Now they know they're locked into a contract, so they know they got to pay that $325 whenever you come out. Versus if you just did a year or if you did a biannual with no contract, now they have a way out. So let's say you didn't have a contract at all, and you call them 6 months later, they go, let's just wait another 6 months. Well, you just lost money and time. Okay? That's why you need to have a contract. So now we've got our quarterly option. Now our quarterly option, we hardly ever sell. The main reason why we have our quarterly option is because it sits real pretty next to our luxury plan. And our luxury plan is what we really want people to sign up under. That's where we start making money while we sleep. Okay? So on our quarterly plan, what we would do is we would knock it down another $25. So it would be $300. So we started out at $350, biannual $325. Quarterly means we're going to come out 4 times a year, and we're only going to charge them $300 per. So I say to them, if you go this route, if you go the quarterly route, then you're actually going to save $200 because you're saving $50 per service. If we did an annual service 4 times, it'd be $350 each time. So 50, 50, 50, 50, that's $200. So that's how I pitch it. Well, if you want to do the quarterly service, we'll come out 4 times and save you $200. Okay? So here, it comes out to 150. So yeah, $150 an hour here. But that gives us $1,200 for the year. Now that's huge. That's a big number. And here's what most people look at. They look at that big number and they go $1,200 a year. Some of them might do quick math in their head and go, that's $100 a month. Okay? That's a lot. That's like another phone bill or half of your light bill or something, okay? But we want this big number, and that's why we actually have it under the total. We actually have this so that whenever it sits real pretty next to what we're about to do and go into our luxury plan. So we hardly ever sell it. In fact, I can't even think off the top of my head the last customer I sold this to. I have one customer that bought this in the last 12 months that I can think of. Okay, so then our luxury plan. Now on our contract, you will see that we have a $, INT, and then month. And then we have the total cost underneath it. Okay, so our luxury plan, this is how we start to make money while we're asleep. In order for this plan to work, you do have to have Square, or you do have to have a credit card processor. Now we use Square. That's the little squares that you can get, and I don't have one on me, but you can hook up to your phone and you can swipe a card. Okay, you have to sign up with them. Now, not them, that's just who we use. You can use whoever you want that has a credit card processor. But what your credit card processor, if you don't use Square, you need to, in order for this to work, they have to have what we call reoccurring invoices. That's number one thing. So check to make sure that your credit card processor, if you're using Stripe or any of the others, I don't even know the others, make sure that they have reoccurring invoicing, and make sure that they have auto pay or auto deduction. Now, all you smart people out there already know where I'm going with this, and hopefully the light bulbs just went off. But your Square payments, or your credit card processor, I'm just going to say Square from here on out because that's who we use, has to have reoccurring invoices and have to have auto deduction. Because in order for you to make money while you sleep, what you're going to do is you're going to pull money out of the customer's account. And you need their permission to do that, and you need to be able to do that. Okay, you get their permission from the contract. It says right here, and then they initial next to it, and you put the amount in there that you're going to pull from their bank account. But in order for you to pull money out of their account, your processor has to be able to do that. Now, luckily, you don't have to store any credit card numbers. You don't have to do anything. It's really out of your hands. So some customers might go, oh, well, I feel weird about Joe Blow that I just met here giving him my credit card. You got to remind your customers. That's why you want to go with somebody like Square, because they're well known. Square does everything. They send them the invoices. They send it automatically. They pull the money out of their account. They send them a thank you card. They do everything for you. All you got to do is go to sleep. Okay? Doesn't get any better than that, guys. Now, you do have to sign them up. But that takes like 5 minutes. So how does it work? So in this particular case, what we would do is we normally have the quarterly plan the same price as our luxury plan. So in this case, we're just going to do what we normally do. It's $300. So 300 INT. INT stands for initial. That's your initial cleaning. So under the luxury plan, what we do is we do quarterly cleanings. So they get 4 cleanings. It's basically the same thing. We're going to come out and we're going to do 4 cleanings. And so what we do is we charge them $300 for the initial clean. That's the day we show up. They pay us $300. We're out the door. We clean their house. Then we sign them out. And then over here it has MO. That stands for monthly. We sign them up for our luxury plan where we are going to automatically deduct a certain monthly payment out of their account to go towards their next cleaning, which will happen in 3 months. So in order for you to do this, you want to make sure that by the time you go do their 3rd cleaning, that the service has been paid for. So what you want to do at that point, A, you got to make it worth their while, and B, you got to make sure you're getting paid, and C, you got to do the quick math. So let's say after the initial cleaning, it's no longer going to take you 2 hours. Let's say it's only going to take you an hour, just to keep the math simple. Okay, just stay with me here. Okay, so the first time you needed to clean them, they were pretty dirty. You had to do a lot of scraping. You were there, an extra hour. But now you can go through, especially if you have a water-fed pole, you can get them all done in an hour, or maybe even less. So now it's going to take you 1 hour. That's what you're banking on. So what you would do then, if you wanted to go with your $75 minimum, an hour job, then you would divide 75 by 3. And then that will give you your monthly payment. So 75 divided by 3 is 25. So in that particular case, their monthly payment would be $25. Why? Why are we dividing by 3? Well, because it's a quarterly service and you're going to be back out there in 3 months. So if you start in January, February, March, April. Okay, so your initial service is going to be in January. That's $300. You're going to go back out there 3 months later, so that'd be 1, 2, the third month would be April. So in April, you're going to spend 1 hour there in this example. So you need to make sure that you're getting paid the entire cleaning's worth. So if you did $25 in February, $25 in March, and $25 in April, then by the time you do that next service, you will have gotten paid $75. So you will go out there, you will do the service, you will have already gotten paid for it. This is how you make money while you sleep. So in February, you didn't do a darn thing all month. You still got in this particular example, you still got $25. In March, you didn't do anything all month. You just didn't work. You went on a 2-month vacation. You still got $25. In April, you came back, you cleaned that house, and oh, by the way, you also got another $25 for $75. Now, if you think it's going to take you a little longer than an hour, then you need to raise your prices. Let's say that you make this $40 a month. Okay? $40 a month. So then that means that in February you got 40, in March you got 40, in April you got 40. To keep it simple, let's just say it was on the 1st of every month. Okay? So you got $40 here on the 1st, 40 on the 1st of March, 40 on April 1st. By the time you do that service, you will have gotten paid $120 for that service. So even if it took you a little more than an hour, you're getting paid about 120 bucks an hour. Okay? You need to be able to do the math, and you need to be able to do it that well. Meaning, if your minimum is $100 an hour and you know it's going to take you an hour and a half, then you need to charge 150 bucks for that service. So 150 bucks would be a $50 a month charge. It'd be 50, 50, and 50, and then that'd be 150. So going back to our original, probably shouldn't have erased that. Okay, so I wrote all this back up here to make a point over here. So for the year, we made $350 on the annual. We made $650 on the biannual. We made $1,200 on the quarterly. And then here, let's say that we were going to keep it at $40 a month. Okay, so by the time the next service comes, it's a $120 service. If it only takes us an hour, it's 120 bucks an hour. That's great. Okay, so 40 bucks a month, and we're going to multiply that times 11 because there's 11 months left in the year. You did the initial in January, and then if you go February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, that's 11. Okay, so 40 times 11, $140 plus your $300, that is $740 that you will make for the year. Not as nice as the $1,200, but again, the $1,200 is just to sit here next to this and make it look really nice. Because instead of paying $1,200 for 4 services, they're only paying $740. One way you could look at it is they're saving $500 by going this route. But the way I usually pitch it is I say $300 for the initial, that's today, and then $40 a month, making basically your next service only 120 bucks each. And then they go, whoa! So the first service is in the 300s, but if I sign up for this monthly, it's only going to end up being 120 bucks. That's like over 200 bucks off. And then that's what they want to do, is they want to sign up. Now this becomes a win-win-win, because originally you wanted to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 200 bucks. So you got it at 300 for your first cleaning. You could even discount that a little bit more if you wanted to. You could bring it down to 250. You know, because it's your money, it's up to you. You can get it down to 250, but then you're making 40 bucks a month. It's a win for you because you start making money while you sleep. The customer gets a big discount, and by the end of the year, you're making $740 versus, you know, we're not going to count that one, but versus $650 versus $350. Now granted, you're doing this service 3 more times the rest of the year, but again, you want to pick houses that you can get done in under an hour. I wouldn't necessarily put a house on a payment plan that's going to take me 2 hours, because then that means that their monthly payment is going to go up somewhere in probably around the $60 a month range, which some people will pay. I have a couple of houses that pay $100 a month. Okay, so it can be done that way. So now you're thinking to yourself, okay, well that sounds good and all, but whenever I get out there, I'm not really getting paid and I'm doing the work. You can't think like that. You got to think you've already been paid for that job that you're about to do, which in reality you have. Okay, so let's play it out and see how it happens, because I know some people are going to say that making $40 a month is nothing. That's chump change. Yeah, you're right. Who wants to make $40 a month? Okay, so in January, let's say you sign up just 10 houses. Okay, I know you're not going to sign up 10 houses in 1 month, but just play along because it covers an entire year. But let's just say in January you just sign up 10 houses. That's it. Okay, so that at $40 a month. Let's just keep it at $40. So that would be $400. I'm sorry. So in January you signed up 10 houses. Okay, you did the initial in January for all 10 houses. Okay, that's probably good money. That's 300 times 10, that's $3,000 for 10 houses. Okay, you do 10 houses, 2 a week, that's nothing. Okay, we do 3 houses a day. But let's say 10 houses. And they're all going to start their payment plan of $40 a month beginning February 1st. So that would be $400, and then in March $400, and then in April $400. Now in April, you're going to, let's call this group A. Okay? So this is A, and in April you're going to do A again. Okay? So in February, if you don't do anything at all, you're still making $400. You're going to get that money. It comes right out of their account every single month. We have not had a customer cancel on us yet. As long as you continue to provide good customer service and you do a good quality window cleaning, and you stay in touch with them, which this forces you to do, then they're going to be a customer for life, and that's what you want. And if you think it can't be done, I'm telling you, you're wrong. You can absolutely do it. The pest control industry that I came from, they do this. They do this exact scenario. I didn't make this up. I wish I could take credit for it, but I didn't. They do this exact same thing. And whenever I was a manager of one of those pest control companies, they had 5,000 customers, and probably 90% of them were on some sort of payment plan like this, and had been, some of them, for 30, 40 years. So absolutely, this can be done. Back to my point. In February and in March, you're just sleeping away. You're taking vacation. These are Z's. But you're still going to make $400 in February. You're still going to make $400 in March. April, you actually have to do the work again. In April, okay, you have to do 10 hours worth of work, and you'll make another $400. Okay, in April. So let's play it out a little bit further, because I know some of you math wizards are trying to get ahead of me, and you're thinking, oh, well, what if I fill up my days and I can't get any new stops because all my old stops are all on the monthly plan? Won't I reach a cap? And the answer to that is, it kind of depends. In one very real sense, yes, you're going to reach a cap. But in another one, there is no cap. So what do I mean by that? Well, you're going to get to the point to where if it's just you by yourself, and I know most of you are starting out as solo entrepreneurs, then yes, you can only work 8 to 10 hours a day, preferably 5 days a week. So you can only get so many houses in that, so eventually you're going to run out. Which means that if you signed up everybody 100% on this plan, then you are basically going to go out and you're going to do house after house after house, and you're not ever going to get paid from those people. Now you'll get a tip. This, by the way, increases tips because when you're there, people aren't writing you a check for $300. In fact, they're not writing you a check for anything. So they think, oh my gosh, he just did an hour's worth of work. Let me give him a $20 tip, forgetting that they've already paid over the past 3 months. So this actually does increase your tips as well. But if you're working by yourself, yes, you're going to get to a point, if you only work 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, to where you can't fit any more of those houses in. And you'll basically go out and you'll do all the work. By the time you get home, you will have gotten paid for houses that are on the plan, though. So you're getting paid every single day into your account. But in another sense, there is no cap, because as soon as you hire an employee, then your profits double, or your time doubles, your available time doubles. And then you hire another employee, and then you hire another employee, and that's how you grow. You can get bigger and bigger. But let's just play it out, because I know some of you are going to be a little bit leery about, oh, well, it seems like I can only make about $2,000 a month off of this. Not true. I'm going to show you actually how, in a perfect scenario, you'll make about $30,000 a month doing nothing. That should be the title. Make $30,000 a month doing nothing, right? How many views would I get then? Okay, so let's play it out. We're going to keep, and I'm going to need a calculator for this because I don't have it memorized. Now, our average is $55 a month. So most of our people on this plan are between 40 and 50 bucks a month. We have a couple that are 100, but that's far and few. We have a couple that are only 25. Those are houses that we get done in 30 minutes, so really quick. So our average is 50, it's actually 56. Our average is $55 a month. Let's keep it conservative. Let's say that your average is $40 a month. And if you think people aren't going to pay $40 a month, then you need to readjust your sales pitch, because they will. They got to see the value in it. $120 per cleaning versus $300 per cleaning. That's a big value. So let's keep it conservative. $40 a month, and let's just, to make it simple, let's just say that it's only going to take you 1 hour to do each house. So 1 hour to do each house. Okay, and let's keep it conservative. Let's say you work 8 hours a day. I know most of you work 12, 13 hours, so take that into consideration. And let's say that out of that 8 hours, you only get really 6 hours of actual cleaning time. The other 2 hours is lunch break and drive time. Okay, so let's say 6 hours. So that means if it takes you 1 hour to do one house and you got 6 hours, that means you can do 6 houses a day. Let's say you work 5 days a week. Okay, Monday through Friday. Don't work on weekends. I know a lot of you guys do, but let's keep it conservative. These are going to be low numbers. Okay, so 5 days a week, 6 houses. That means you can do 30 houses a week. Okay, 30 different houses a week. Each house is only going to take you 1 hour, and each house you're going to sign up on our luxury plan, where you're going to do them once every 3 months. To keep it simple, we're going to start in January. Okay, so 30 houses a week, and since each house is on our payment plan of $40, we're going to do $40 times 30 houses. That's $1,200. And we're going to say that is going to be week 1. So in week 1, you did 30 houses, and you made $1,200 off the $40 a month payment plan. Now, of course, again, we're going to the extreme here. We're going to play it out because some of you are going to think about the cap. So we're going to say that you did that exact same thing for the next 3 weeks in a row. Okay, so $1,200 for week 2, $1,200 for week 3, $1,200 for week 4. 2, 4, 6, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, this is week 2, week 3, week 4, and we're going to call this group A. Now, so from group A, you worked 8 hours a day, cleaning houses 6 of those hours. Every single house is on the payment plan. Again, this is the perfect scenario. And every single house is $40 a month. In Group A, by the time you're done cleaning all those houses, you will have earned $4,800. You're like, wow, that's nothing. I already make that much. Or some of you might be thinking, okay, that's good for me, right? That's nothing to shy at. That's almost $60,000 a year, okay? So the great thing about this is that if you take off February and March, you're still going to get paid from Group A $4,800 in February. And in March, you're still going to get paid from Group A $4,800. Now in April, you're going to get paid from Group A again, but you also have to do the work. Okay? So here we're going to put work. So in February, Group A gave you $4,800. In March, Group A gave you $4,800. And in April, Group A gave you $4,800. So in January, you did all the work, and then you took off February. You didn't do anything. You went on vacation. You gave all your employees the whole month off. Imagine that. You still wake up every day and you got money in your account. By the end of the month, you've got $4,800. You didn't do anything, and you made basically $5,000. Same thing in March. You didn't do anything. You still made $5,000. I'm rounding it, okay? Don't get confused. Now in April, you got to come back to work because these people already paid you and you got to do the work, okay? So in April, you come back and do it. Now, you're better than that though. You're not going to take off in February. You're not going to take off in March. What are you going to do? You're going to do the exact same thing you did in January. So in February, you're going to create a whole new group called Group B. And in Group B, let's just say you don't get any better at the numbers or anything, and you just replicate the same scenario. You work 8 hours a day, 6 of those hours, you only did 30 houses a week, and each of those houses is only $40 a month. So you're just going to replicate basically another $4,800. Whoa, now the light bulbs are starting to go off, right? So here you're doing the exact same amount of work, 40 hours, just like over here you did 40 hours. But here, now you're up to $9,600 a month in February. But it's going to get better. Because in March, you could take March off, because in March, Group A is going to give you $4,800, and Group B is now going to give you $4,800. So you're already at $9,600 in March from day one, and you're not doing anything. So if you took an entire vacation off in March, you're still going to make almost $10,000 a month. But you're better than that. You're going to work in March, and you're going to create a whole nother group, Group C. Same scenario. You didn't get any better. $40 a month per house, and 8 hours a day, 6 of those hours you're actually working, Monday through Friday. So same results. Again, this is the perfect world scenario. So now, beginning in March, you've got a Group C, which is another $4,800. So at this point, we're at 8 times 3 is 24, 12, 13, 14. So in March, you're going to work 40 hours. Group A is going to pay you $4,800. Group B is going to pay you $4,800. The 40 hours you actually worked paid you $4,800. I'm not even including the initials, by the way. The $300 for the first cleaning, not even including that. So you can add all that in there. So since Group C is going to pay you another $4,800, that means that in March, your total revenue for the entire month is $14,400. Now, this is the part where you go, that's all I can make? $14,400 a month? Okay, which I feel you. I get it. I know what you're thinking. You're working 40 hours a week. That's the most you can make. You want to be able to make more than that, right? Stick with me. So, in this sense, right now, if you're just you and you don't hire anybody else, and you're at $40 a payment, and each house takes you an hour, which basically is so 40 times 3 is 120. So basically it's $120 an hour, which is pretty good. this is it. This is the most you'll make, because in April you're going to do the work of Group A, but you're still going to get paid for Group B and still going to get paid for Group C. So you'll get $14,400 again, and then again in April, in May, and then in June, and then July, and so forth for all eternity. So you'll be stuck at $14,400 unless you hire somebody or unless you get a helper. Now, you may be happy with $14,000 a month. That's over $120,000 a year. So, if you are, great. You're working 40 hours a week, 6 hours a day, basically, and you're making over $100,000 a year. But if you bring in one person, then that one person can do two things for you. They can either duplicate what you did, and they can bring in another $14,000 a month for your business. Okay, so now you're making $28,800 a month because you brought in someone and they duplicated exactly what you did. Okay, so now your business is making $28,000 a month. You're working 40 hours a week. Your partner's working 40 hours a week. You duplicated our luxury plan. The business itself, all the revenue coming in comes out to $28,800. You pay your partner $5,000 a month. Okay, that's $60,000 a year for him to work 40 hours a week cleaning windows. Pretty good gig, right? Pay him whatever you want, but just as an example. So now your business is making $23,800 a month after you pay your employee labor. Now, you have to watch my video on how to calculate profit and know all your costs and all that. I'm not including that. This is just a rough sketch. But theoretically, you pay your guy $5,000 a month, $60,000 a year to clean windows, and your business is still making $23,800. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it, instead of having your guy go off by himself and duplicating everything that you've done, is to have him work with you. Theoretically, that means that a house that should only take 1 hour will only take you 30 minutes, both of you working at the same time on the same house, which means your 40-hour work week just got cut in half by two people. So now you're only working 20 hours. You're working 20 and he's working 20, the same 20, which means that you both can go out and duplicate this again. You're both working on the same houses, and you can get another 40 hours worth and come out to the same thing, $28,800. Or maybe you just want to work 20 hours a week. Have him work 40 hours a week. You only work 20. You can play with the numbers, okay? So, and then once you get comfortable, you can hire another employee and basically get another $14,400 a month. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, well, I know some guys that are making $30,000. You got to remember, these are conservative numbers. This number is basically $40 a month. Okay, remember our average is $55. It's $40 a month, and it's for 1 hour's worth of work. So that's $120 an hour, which is pretty good. But maybe your average is going to be $150. If your average is $200, then these numbers go up drastically. One thing that you want to be leery on, I think I mentioned this somewhere in the video, is that all your customers on this plan, take a picture, all your customers on this plan are prepaying, which means that if for some reason they cancel, then you have to pay back what it is they paid into it. Okay, so how does that work? Well, the first question you should be asking yourself is why is that person canceling? And if you're getting a lot of cancels, then something's wrong internally and you got to fix it. But if somebody is at, let's just say $50 a month. Okay, if somebody's at $50 a month and they sign up in January, February, and March. So they're going to pay $50 in February, they're going to pay $50 in March, they're going to do the service in March. Okay, so in January, well, in this case we actually got to go back to December. So in December they signed up and they paid $300. Okay, and then you signed them up on the payment plan, and beginning 30 days later, you started taking payments out of their account using Square. Okay, $50 a month. And then December, January, February, and then in March, you're doing the service again. So we did the service here, the initial service. January they pay, February they pay, March they pay, and then you do the service again in March. So what we do on our initial is that if the annual is $400, then we make our luxury plan only $50 less as far as a discount. And the reason why we do that is because in our cancellation clause it says that if you cancel early, in this case within a year, then we're going to charge you $50 per service completed. Okay? So what that means is, now we've never had this happen, but you know, our lawyers are smart and they figured this out for us. In December, whenever we gave them that $50 discount, if they were to take advantage of us and then turn around and cancel in January thinking, oh, I just got away with $50. Well, not really. According to your cancellation, you now owe us $50 because we completed the service in December. Okay? So let's say that they, for whatever reason, they didn't cancel in January, they didn't cancel in February, but in March they canceled before the last payment or after, it didn't really matter. But in March, they canceled the last payment. So here, they canceled. So now we, and let's just make it, say that they didn't. Let's say they canceled before they made this payment, just for the numbers to make it easy. So now we owe them $50 for March plus $50 for February. They haven't paid us in March, so we owe them $100. Okay? We owe them that because they prepaid for a service. We're not going to do the service. We can't keep their money. So we owe them $100. So here's what happens. Customer calls up in March and they say, hey, yeah, we would like to cancel our service. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Is there anything we can do? You try to fix it, right? Yeah, no, I understand. You try to save them, you know, but worst case scenario, you can't save them. So you say, okay, Ms. Smith, I see that you have a $100 credit and there's a $50 cancellation fee because we did one service. Would you like us to take that $50 cancellation fee out of your $100 credit? 9 times out of 10, customers are going to say, yep, take it out. So now, instead of you paying $50, and now instead of you paying $100, you're only paying $50, okay? My point is that's not going to break the bank. Now, if you had 10 customers cancel on you all in March, and now you got to pay $500, you got bigger problems, really. Like, why are 10 customers canceling on you? So you can't really think that way. You should be able to keep your customers. Now, people are going to move. Things are going to happen. Understandable. Now, if we had done this service and they paid, then we would owe them, well, we wouldn't owe them anything because they paid January, February, and March. We did the service. They're going to pay us again in April, $50. But if they canceled right here, we wouldn't owe them anything. They would owe us 50 plus 50 would be $100. Are we going to ask for $100? In that particular case, probably not. We don't want to, make enemies. We're not going to ask them for, we're not going to hold it, especially if it's something like they moved, something they couldn't really help. Okay? So because of that, that's one of the reasons why you want to keep your monthly payments pretty low. You don't want to get caught in a situation to where you sign up a mega mansion in December, and you got $4,000 for the initial. Great. But then you sign them up on this payment plan of $1,000 a month, and you're just starting out, and you're thinking to yourself, holy crap, man, I love Rob. This was a great idea. I'm making $1,000 a month sleeping. But then you get to March, and they call before you do the service. They cancel on you. Now you owe them $3,000. That's why we want to keep your payments low, relatively under $100. Now, there's a workaround. There's always a workaround. If you got the money to go see a lawyer can certainly draw up a contract and say, okay, Mrs. Smith, you're going to agree to pay $1,000 a month. for the next 11 months. If you cancel early, before we get to do the service, then we have to be able to do the next service no matter what, and then you can cancel. You can always write something in there so you don't lose your money. But that's just, to me, that's too much, especially if you're just starting out. Just keep it simple. Keep your payments under $100. Our average is $55. That way, if somebody pays you and then they cancel and you got to pay it back, it's not going to break the bank. So, let's recap. How do you make money while you sleep? You sign them up on a payment plan. 1, you got to have a credit card processor. Okay? Your credit card processor has to have 2 things. They have to have recurring invoicing. Again, I recommend Square. And they have to have auto pay or auto deductions. You got to have that in place before you can even talk to customers. Once you get in front of the customer, you got to have a contract or an agreement. See, ours just says agreement. People don't like contracts. So you got to have an agreement. You want to charge them an initial for the cleaning, the first cleaning, okay? And that's going to be, $100, 200, whatever your initial is, $500, $600. And then you're going to charge them a monthly. You're going to divide your monthly by 3 because you're doing that service quarterly, 4 times a year. Okay? So if their initial is $500 for the first cleaning, and then their monthly payment is $50, that means by the time you do their next cleaning, you will have collected $150. Consider that part of your hourly wage. Again, we do everything by hours. Hopefully I'm not messing you guys up to do window. But $150. If it only takes you 1 hour to do that, you just made $150. If it takes you 2 hours to do that house, you just made $75 an hour. Still pretty good. It's a win-win-win. Customer pays $50 a month, $150 for the service. You get in there, you clean it, you're out, you're done. The previous 2 months of you, before you doing that, you were sleeping, you opened up your bank account, cha-ching, $50. Multiply that by how many other customers you can imagine. Cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. As soon as you get up there in numbers, hire somebody else. Duplicate the work. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. If you start to get a lot of cancels, you need to reevaluate either your service or your customer service skills. Something's wrong there if you're getting a lot of cancels. That's really with any industry, I guess. Just to quickly talk about other industries. Pressure washing. Okay, now I don't do pressure washing, I'll be honest with you. I don't know a whole lot about it. I have a buddy that does it for me, and we have a good partnership. If you're a window cleaner, find yourself a good guy that shares the same business values as you, and connect with them if you don't know how to pressure wash. A, so you can learn from them. B, so y'all can feed each other. Okay, pressure washing. I don't know, maybe twice a year. If it's twice a year, then you can do the same thing. You can offer annual, biannual, every 6 months, and then your luxury is the same thing as biannual, every 6 months, but it has an initial and it has a monthly. Let's say that you're pressure washing and it's $400, for just a one-time service. So you made $400 on that ticket, or you charge $350, so you made $700 on that ticket for the year. $300 every 6 months, $350 every 6 months. Or for the luxury service, you gave them a break, $325, and let's say you charge them, I don't know, we'll just say $50 a month. I don't know. I honestly don't know about the pressure washing prices, but if you do, you can figure this out and what would make sense. So in this particular example, you would charge 50 times 11, which is 550. Plus your $325 initial gives you $875 for the year, which is double what you would have made here. This is 7. So you would have made $875 plus they're prepaying. Now that might not make sense to you. $150 for the next Actually, it wouldn't be that. It'd be 50 times 6 is 0. Yeah, that works. Okay. So in this particular example, you did $325 pressure washing for the initial, and then you only charge them $50 a month, so they don't have to come up with another $300 in 6 months. In 6 months, it's all been paid for, and in 6 months, you will have collected $300. So that's a little bit of a discount for them to sign up for your payment plan. In this example, okay, maybe you give a bigger discount. I don't know. So 50 times 6 is 300. So by the time you go back in June, you will have already made $300. And you signed them up for the year, so they're actually going to start paying in July. You don't have to renew a contract or anything until you get back to that initial date, and then it just renews. Make sure you have that on your contract, automatically renews. So that's pressure washing. House washing or roof washing, I'm guessing only can be done once a year, but you can still do payment plans with that. You can charge the initial and then sign them up for $50 a month for the rest of the year. You come back a year later, it's paid for already. Okay, so you sign them up. Let's say that it was, this is assuming you're going to wash your roof once a year. I don't know how often you're going to do that, but let's just say it's $500 for roof washing. So you do it in January, and then you sign them up for the payment plan, which would be $50 a month. Just throwing that number out there. So 50 times 11 is 550. So by the time January comes back around, their roof wash is paid for. Okay. Now, the only thing I don't like about this particular scenario is that, let's say 10 months down the road they cancel. Well, now you got to pay them back their $500. So make sure you have something in there about canceling, like no cancels after 6 months or something. Make sure you have something in there. You could offer roof wash warranties. Okay, basically that says that in January you're going to do the roof wash for $500. They're going to pay you $25 a month, and that's going to give them a warranty on their roof wash for the next 2 years. Okay, so $25 a month times 24 months, 2 years, is $600. Okay, and then during that 2 years, if they need another roof wash, it's included. What are the chances that they're going to need another roof wash? That's what you have to figure out. And if the chances are slim to none, then this is a great opportunity for you to make some residual income coming in every single month while you sleep. You get 10 roof wash customers, you charge them all $500. You give them a $25 a month warranty that says within the next 2 years or 3 years, I don't know, however often, 2 years, if you get mold or mildew up there, I'll go up there and clean it again for free. Okay, as long as you have your warranty, $25 a month. If the chances are that they're not going to need that, then this comes out in your favor. If for some reason they do need it, it comes out in their favor, and that's why they would want to go with this. And believe me, customers like warranties. They want this kind of stuff, but nobody offers it. Okay, so you got to offer it. The only way that I can think that this luxury plan, this payment plan doesn't work is if you're doing a service that's already a monthly service, like grass cutting or pool service, cleaning a pool. That wouldn't work because you're already doing the service on a monthly. You want to get away from doing monthly services for this plan, get away from doing monthly and break them into either biannual or quarterly. Anything, we do have one office building that is on this same payment plan, actually one of our $100 a month, and we do them bi-monthly. So in January, February, March, April, May, June, just to give you an idea, we did the first cleaning, it wasn't in January, but to keep it simple, we did the first cleaning, it was actually like $595, $600, and then we charge them $100 after that, every single month. So every month, we just make $100. We wake up on the first, cha-ching, we got $100 from this one customer, okay? And then we do their service, and this is one of the only customers we do this with, but we do their service once every 2 months. So January, February, March, so then they would be due again in March. April, May, June, July, okay? So by the time we get to this service, they will have paid us $200 for that service. We can get that done in 1 hour. So we're making $200 an hour. Next month we don't have to do them, so we've got extra time, but we're still making money while we sleep. $100, $100, $100, $100. It turned this $595 sale into over a $1,200 sale, because we did 100 times 11, whatever that is, plus the $595, came out to mega bucks versus what would have been just a measly $600 for a one-time service, which is what all of your competition is doing. They're just going out there to your customers or potential customers and they're saying, hey, let me clean your windows for $400. They're probably even undercutting. They're losing money on themselves. They don't even know it, but you guys are smarter than that. So they're going to your customers or the potential customers and they're saying, let me do your windows $400. Customer says, sounds great. And then they leave. And then if they were a member, they call them back a year later and they say, hey, we were doing your windows last year. We'd like to do them again. But you guys are better than that because you got contracts. And so you're going to see your customers 4 times a year. Think about the impact that that has on your customer service. You see your customers 4 times a year. Window cleaning. Twice a year, gutter cleaning. Twice a year, pressure washing. Whatever the case may be. 6 times a year in this. You're seeing your customers. Chances are you're going to build a rapport with them throughout each visit, which means they're going to be less likely to go with Joe Blow who comes off the street and says, hey, here's my card. I could beat your guy's price by $100. They're going to say, no, no, no. Rob comes out 4 times a year. Yeah, he's a little bit more expensive, but you know what? We're on this awesome payment plan. Do you offer a payment plan? Oh, I don't offer a payment plan. I don't even know what that is. Well, he gives us a discount and, you know, he sends us a card every year and he's just a great company. We really love his company. So we're going to stay with him. Even though you're $100 cheaper, that $100, not worth it. So this is the luxury plan, how to make money while you sleep. I hope that it helps you guys. I hope it gives you some insight. I hope it gives you some ideas. If you have any questions, just shout them down in the comments. If it did give you some ideas, just put those in the comments. Maybe we can flesh out, make this even better. I'm all for learning from you guys. I know that a lot of you have a lot more experience and you have a lot of great ideas. Let's share with each other so that we can just make our industry even better. And don't worry about if your competition is doing this or doing this. I'm telling all my competition basically out there how to do this. Now they're probably going to start offering it. But that's okay because we can keep growing and we can keep innovating. As long as the industry gets better as a whole, then we all get better. And that's the goal. Thanks, guys.